think you already know that we laid the LI, Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, taking the charge and laid this LI before Parliament. And within 21 days, God willing, it becomes law. That clearly, the President's power to authorize mining in forest reserve has been voluntarily given out. And to me, that is very, very important. The reason this is important is because, you know, the original proposal was that the LI should be completely banned, should be completely revoked. But what we've done here is that if you look, and this was the case that was made by the Environment Committee and the EPA, the whole EPA's power to enter forest reserve, to supervise, to monitor that all the concessions we've already given to large-scale mining are being followed, hinges on this LI 2462. So what is really the problem now is that we must stop all these new licenses in forest reserve, but allow the EPA to continue to have the right to enter the forest to make sure that the right things are being done there. If we repeal this whole act, it means the EPA completely will have that no power. And that is why we are stopping new licenses in forest reserve and making sure that the EPA will hold the fort with all these large-scale mining companies that have lease. And I believe that once the lease is done, I don't believe we want to even extend any lease going forward from the direction we are going.
Your sincere assessment as you enter into that office, because it's been overwhelming for most ministers who have been there, and they end up really being said to have achieved nothing.
Well, I think that
in respect of the Galamsey fight.
Yes. I've been blessed to have held various positions. This is one of the very big ones in my lifetime. And I wake up in the morning and I say, you know, when you work hard with all your heart and soul and say, help me, God, you don't worry. I think I'm very confident. And I see the support of the people of Ghana. The people of Ghana are overwhelming in their support that we must address this canker that is destroying our water bodies and our environment, that is making us look like we are living for just today. And so I think that we are on course.
From your assessment, how bad is it?
5 pillars are the focus areas that we are looking at. Number one, we must basically completely reform the licensing regime. Look at all the areas in the licensing regime that has contributed to this mess. We must strengthen law enforcement. And this area requires political will and leadership. And I am very clear in my mind the support and the heart of President John Mahama. He has given me clear instructions that this fight, we must wave it with the people of Ghana, our forests, our water bodies, and our future. When the Water Resources Commission tells you that your water levels, treatment level of 500 is now between 5,000 and 12,000, and that no machine in Ghana is able to treat water, when they are shutting down, when the water company is shutting down water because you have crisis, when the Forestry Commission says that out of your 288 forests, 44 is completely destroyed, and that they have colors. 9 of the forests had red, yellow, and then blue. You know that this is a fight you must win. So that is critical. The other thing is engagement and education of the people of Ghana. If you have seen me in the last, that's the second part. Since I took office, my focus has been engaging the people of Ghana. I've been in parliament. I've been with traditional leaders. I've been with the media. I've been talking to the youth groups. Because this fight is not for the Minister of Lands or for the government. It's for the people of Ghana. It's for traditional authorities at all levels for us to accept that there are things that will be no-go area. There are things we can do, but there are things we must collectively say, this we can do. not our water, not our forests. That gives us life.
That's the third pillar. You're left with two more.
Now we have alternative livelihood. If you see us focusing on things like Tree for Life initiative, and we've talked about a lot of programs we are going to do in that area. If you see us talking about all the other things, working with the other agencies, you will see my collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture. It's all about alternative livelihood and things we can do to empower the youth. The other thing has to be a strong focus on reclamation and revegetation of all these damaged lands. So these are the focus areas of our fight. I talk about the reforms. You know, one of the things we've done immediately I took office was to make sure that we scan the system. You see me set up committees to look at the system. Because what we are talking about is also important. This mining sector is a very important sector. This is a sector that is the small-scale mining sector. It's what has given the government of Ghana over $4.5 billion. It's holding this economy. And so you need to understand that it's a very important sector. How do we sanitize it to make sure that people who are doing the right thing are giving the support?
So people are interested in knowing what differently you are going to do, because reforming licensing regime, strengthening law enforcement, engagement and education, alternative livelihood, strong focus on reclamation and revegetation, they are not new.
But there's a lot of difference. You know the difference? The difference this time is leadership. The difference this time is to tell the military. You know, the last time the military went to the forest reserve was 2022, according to the reports we have. At some point, they had to stop. This time, the police, when you hear the interior minister publicly saying to the police service that, listen, if you are caught as a police officer in any compromised position with this fight of illegal mining, the new IGP just announced that fighting Galamsey is a priority. When you hear me, the minister, saying that if anybody, any political person who comes in our way of this fight will be named and shamed, and that nobody should try to call me. The only person I want to call me to give me instruction in this fight is the President of the Republic.
The President has also said that he will discipline members of his government.
Clear alignment.
But we have heard before, a president even put their presidency on the line.
We are within 3 months, and I think that the people of Ghana are watching exactly the steps we are taking. And I think we are being consistent. When I saw the report, and it says, for the last 5 years, we arrested 845 Galamseyers, but only 35 were prosecuted. I was like, yeah, this number. No, one of the engagements that has been done, for example, in this area, I've gone to the Chief Justice, I've gone to the Attorney General, and I've asked them, can you explore the possibility of fast-track courts, specifically for offenders of Galamsey and small-scale mining? And they've been very receptive. I think we are pushing in all these directions.
They've already dedicated courts to deal with Galamsey issues.
Well, in some of the areas that I see, I think that we need to strengthen it more, maybe spread it more. That's the point I'm making. And so I'm saying to you, I've shown you these 5 pillars. A lot is in there. You saw the announcement we've made about the review of licenses. We didn't do that by accident. It was done based on work by a committee that says that, listen, there's a lot of problems with authorization and validation of these licenses. There are people who even have small-scale mining licenses that, frankly, are violating environmental provisions. Their work programs that have been given them, they are not following.
Literally doing Galamsey.
Basically, they are mining wrongly. We've given you B area, and you are mining in B, C, D. They have not even come back to renew their licenses. Foreigners are not supposed to be in small-scale mining. But guess what is happening? If you go to all of these people who have licenses, they bring all these foreigners, and I'm not going to specify nationalities, and say, oh, they are here because they are coming to fix our machines. No, they are not there to fix their machines. They are the one leading the fight.